I'm back in just a minute then. Hi, PB.
Hey, Zoltar.
Good job. Living
Thanks,
up to my
man.
expectations. It's the best I can give you. I expect this of you, but that doesn't make it any less good, so. Still a good win in Game 3. What happened, or sorry, in Game 5. What happened in Game 3 and 4, though? It was fairly convincing up to that point.
Game 3, I got steamrolled pretty hard, I guess.
Hello?
There's a lot of...
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, congratulations, BB.
There was kind of like this map in Game 5. There was not a lot of water tiles, and Cubit did beat me to the only adjacent water tile, and then I just couldn't get. And then he got the farms up, and he was making $150 food off farms for the longest time, which I never shut down. And that was probably my biggest mistake that I felt like I made in Game 4 was those farms were up for a very long time. Or Game 3.
Yeah,
Game 4, I gave away the game, and Soren talked about earlier. I could have been even more aggressive with the stock buying. If I never went for the Offworld, I could have closed the game. If I never bought my own stock, I could have closed the game.
Yeah, well, I think Cuban made a huge mistake by allowing you to keep those farms and reactors and chem labs going for as long as he did. The EMPs and power surges were not expensive, and you were just making a killing off of those buildings.
Game 5, Game 5, he was missing a lot of resources. He had no carbon, and he had electronics production. I bought up hundreds of carbon. He put down a carbon mine, he nuked my water, I nuked it back his carbon. He still has no carbon. That was good. Offworlds. The only offworlds that was available was oxygen, and he was using glass furnaces. He had no reactors. I bought up hundreds and hundreds of oxygen, and his offworld would not have made him a lot of money. And that's definitely how I closed. The carbon and oxygen was definitely how the cold fusion was funny.
Yeah,
cold fusion was hilarious.
You just hit the button without thinking about it?
I hit the button without thinking about it. Check what the auction was later.
Yeah. Well, you got it at a good time. If you get the first auction, even on that map, you can have time to handle it. I felt like you should have been pushed way higher on that medium water auction, though. Like, I have no idea how high that should have gone.
I got the medium water.
You got it. I'm saying Cubit should have bid higher, way higher.
Oh, probably.
I could have seen 50,000 for that. I mean, it was a crucial tile.
Yeah, it was. For me, it was probably how much do I want to pay to lose the game, or because again, water did hit 100 for a second there, before I got slant drilling down, and then it leveled out. But power, which I would have been paying for, was qubits alone to mess with, and he let it go. That never dropped below 100. So water touched 100 per second, but his power never dropped below 100. So
I really feel like someone should have used a hack array. I'm not entirely sure what was the best thing to do with it, but it seemed like there was lots of opportunities for a hack array that 5th game. He could have shorted power. He could have tried to block your water more and shorted water.
Surplus carbon, surplus oxygen, maybe.
There's just a lot of stuff that could have been done.
I could have done the exact opposite, of course.
Yeah, you could have shorted some stuff to take advantage of it yourself, but there was you guys were definitely in very different resources that game. I mean, quite literally. So I would have liked to have seen a hacker.
Yeah. I think those aluminum tiles also hurt you guys a lot more than you were realizing initially. I don't know if you ever moved out of them, PB. I know Cubit finally transitioned, but it's really awkward thinking that aluminum, it has the metal mine power cost, and then attached to it, it basically looked like each of those aluminum tiles had a 0.5 per second power cost also attached to them, just for sending those resources.
Yeah, that was Cubit's. That's yeah. I had a 0.5 water or something attached to them, but yeah, I completely forgot about the tiles. It might have been a good idea to cycle those into ice condensers or something.
But still, it felt like it was a lot less painful for you, interestingly enough, which I didn't really expect. You'd expect the guy burning fuel and water the whole time to be hurt more by the tiles. I thought it was, I don't know, cold fusion just made that whole game really interesting to me, and I keep thinking through it all.
But it was, well, I wonder if I saved the replay. I did not get the replay.
I think I did. I'm not entirely sure. I think I missed Game 4, but everything other than that, I think I have. Soren should hopefully have them as well.
I'm not quite sure why it's not appearing in my file.
I copied them all, but I've got this weird thing where the timestamp looks like the exact same for all of them, which is kind of suspicious. Maybe that's okay. Maybe it's like
two of mine have the same timestamp too, and the same exact size, which is suspicious.
That's the real suspicious thing. So I'm afraid we may have a bug where like only really the first replay gets saved. In which case that would be too bad. But you know, we've got them on the stream, obviously. So
exactly. So hopefully it'll be all right. I don't know. Mine. Well, yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to worry about it too much, though. I think it's been updating appropriately, but I'm not entirely sure. And regardless, I did miss Game 4. I'm trying to think back through those other games. Game 4, in particular, I thought it was really interesting that you went for the kill and then tried to make a transition to an Offworld. I didn't know what your thought was, what was going on in your head that whole time, where you were thinking, I think I can kill him, and then suddenly this transition comes out that's completely separate, major investment into a long-term play, and then kind of what was going on that whole time?
I was looking at, like, at the time, the prices were, except for electronics, which was something that I wanted to go into and I didn't get to go into, which is, his electronics protection really killed me, but, I was looking at the prices, and they were all like $130 or less. And I have mental bookmarks of the prices and how much you can sell down and still make money off of them, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. So like if I see a price reach 200, that's like in beta 3 at least, if the price reaches 200, that's a kill price. If the price reaches 200, you can kill someone with that price if you do nothing but create that for the rest of the game. And I was looking at that, and the only thing that was like that, the only kill price was electronics. And I wasn't making electronics, and I thought, I'm going to have a really hard time reaching 134K, which is what I needed to buy them out, off of something that I did think that I had a kill price on. Except food did get to that kill price after we started launching it, of course. And
of course.
And if I again if I didn't buy my own stock, if I had just saved up my cash, I probably could have done it. If I had not gone into his stock and had just and said, you know, that what almost $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 that I put into buying his stock initially, you know, if I put that in the Offworld and then buy his stock, like I did in game 1, 2, and 5, I probably would have had it there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
My suggestion would have been a hacker.
I had to make it go to a game 5. It has to be exciting series for the finals, right?
Okay,
it had to
so
go
that's
to
what we're gonna excuse.
So that's what's actually
sure. Yeah, of course. Sorry. What was I thinking?
I had to throw it a little bit. The nanotech play at the end was very good, and I should have bid harder on the nanotech, and I didn't, because that possibility simply did not occur to me, and that was a huge failing on my part.
That was so fantastic. I love that play out of Qubit.
That he could sell his stuff for like literally $80,000.
Yeah, I was just shocked. It took me a while to figure out what happened.
When I saw it jump from 84 to 94 to 100, I was like, wait, what just happened? Because I didn't think he sent it Offworld.
Yeah, I was really confused by the fact that you let nanotech go that.
And then of course the victory screen.
I would have loved to see someone. Yeah, I would love to see someone make that move and come up just a tad short.
Yeah.
know?
Oh, that would suck. Got to be careful when you're doing that kind of thing. But on the other hand, it should be pretty easy to tell most of the time exactly how much you're going to get from scrapping.
There was a few seconds where the 100 was up that if I had known, I might have been able to pay enough debt if I was fast enough on it, but...
I mean, he was obviously selling knowing he wanted to buy, so he wasn't going to let it pass, I guess. But
all right. Still, though, good series.
Indeed.
Back-to-back champion in the official Offworld tournaments, I guess, so we can give that over to you.
I guess so.
But yeah, I mean, a bit more of an exciting series than last time, at least.
Oh yeah, that I don't know. the Zack games are good, but yeah, these were good games. These were good games.
They were good games.
And
I
even
like
if they're a little bit weird in occasional locations, there's still room for improvement for both of us.
And you won a game of Scientific, so maybe Soren will lay off a little bit.
Maybe I won't have to buff Scientific after all. I was afraid.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I lost both of the expansive versus Scientific games. That's just so
that literally the
I don't understand it.
When was the last time we actually saw Scientific win a game against non-Scientific in the tournament? I don't actually even remember.
Oh, well, it was like 20 minutes ago, so we're good.
Before that, that's what I mean. I don't. We'll see. Like I am not necessarily convinced that Scientific is as dominant as everyone thinks it is right now. I definitely think it's, if you had to pick one that might be the best, I think it could certainly be Scientific. So I'm not downplaying that, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next couple weeks.
I got to level 2 so much faster than he did.
Yeah, it's really that level 2 advantage for Scientific right now. Just when you can get founded quickly, get into the aluminum, and just straight make steel at 3 a second, oh, it's such a huge advantage over anyone else.
Right. Yep.
Especially because it also ignores that iron bump at the start of the game where everyone's kind of setting up their steel production and their mines and everything like that. Everybody else kind of has to get through that and then like sell down iron and get to HQ level 2. It can be a bit awkward most of the time. So I think that's where most of what we see, like if Scientific can get off to a tearing start, which is more like a start we expect to see out of maybe a robotic player, that's when they can really carry that through to victory a bit better. But if they don't pull that off, then yeah, things even out a bit over the course of the game.
And especially in like larger games, like the first person to found non-Scientific can probably make it to level 2 okay. The second person to found non-Scientific is gonna have to do some weird things to get there, because the first, if it goes Scientific, non-Scientific, the third guy, he's kind of boned.
Yeah. Hey, Layla just reminded me that we still have a lot of people watching, so I was just starting the game.
Okay.
We can play a game. I could play a game or two.
Yeah, I can play a game. Yeah, I do have real life that I have to.
I know, right? That's what I have to do too at some point. But
I'm sure a lot of us would enjoy seeing Zoltar play PB Head.
I'll probably lose. He's got to warm up, and I don't. But that's fine. They can see that at other times, all the time. PB, I did post your win.
Maybe PB
2 days ago. So
yes,
you're casting PB Head.
I did notice you did.
How about this? PB Head plays Zoltar. Zoltar has a natural disadvantage since he's streaming and is not warmed up. But PB Head has to found robotic.
That would be awful. That? Well, I've already gotten FFA set up if you wanted to join us, Soren. I don't know if that's an option.
I did try to practice a sort of a Hail Mary robotic play for this best of 5 in case things had gone the other way and he was beating me instead of me beating him. So I could try that. I could try my Hail Mary robotic. But
well, I can't play it. So you guys should
organize. That's fine.
You guys should organize the game you want to play. Right?
All right, we'll do one game. I'll go ahead and lose to PB Head. I guess that's fine. We can do that. So, shall I hang up and we can go ahead and get started, PB?
Sure. Yep.
All right, let's get to it. Okay, guys. I'm glad people want to see me lose a game. Apparently. That's just fine. This is going to be the last one for today. And don't know if we need to talk about it too much anymore, so let's just dive on in. I'm going to lose so hard. It's so depressing. Okay, here we go. Whoa. This is, oh man, this is so awkward, these tiles right here. I don't want to take on 170,000 debt for these, but I don't want to just hand them over to PB Head either. This is so strange. Oh, what do I want to do with this exactly? This is, no, too close. I can't even take the stupid claims. 100 and so much thousand debt. This is so ridiculous. I hate those tiles so much. I had no idea how to actually value them this game. I'm going to go ahead and wait a little while before getting founded, I suppose, because I can't take these tiles next to him anyway immediately, so I can't even drop scientific over there right now. I would have to wait a long time to be able to set up my steel production because all of these tiles are protected. It's something I kind of want to do if I can pull it off, is get founded as scientific right here. But, oh man, it's just so awkward trying to figure everything out. I should have just clicked the button. I should have bit the bullet. Tell you what, instead we're going to do something a little bit weird, and we're just going to go scavenger down in this corner. He's going to get... yeah, this tile is still protected. I can't even take it yet. I would love to if I have the opportunity, although, yeah, I can't let him have complete control of the aluminum market, unfortunately. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to take this tile right next to him, and we'll see if we can catch up in this awful, awful game at this point. Right, there we go. Sent it out. We're so far behind because of waiting for so terribly long. But really, there was unfortunately one spot on the map, and I had no idea how to go ahead and value it at this stage of the game. So everything's just looking a little bit weird right now. But we might be able to recover. We've got some high silicon nearby. We've got some high water across the map that we're probably going to go ahead and take, despite the fact that it's all the way across the map. Let's toss out a claim. We do have an extra claim. Geotherm bid is not the worst thing in the world. Try and make it work. Let's see. We're going to want to look at making money before too long, because the one advantage we have this game, the one advantage, if any, is our stock price. That's it. That's all we've got. So we really want to make some quick money in order to be able to use that. Oh, PB. Crafty little... whatever. Now, he really can't afford to take on a ridiculous amount of debt here. He's probably just going to push me to 36. I'll go ahead and take it because, well, my stock price is really high compared to his. He does have to worry about that a little bit. And so maybe this will work out for me overall. Going ahead and taking this geotherm. 2 claims left. One's going out to water. I need to decide what to do with the other 2. I could establish a little bit more water, which isn't the end of the world, even against a robotic player, because I can kind of flood it and maybe move into farms or reactors very easily. That leaves me with just 1 more claim left over. I could go into more aluminum. I was expecting to put it into power, but that wasn't necessary anymore. He's already HQ level 3, no big surprise there. I hate these tiles so much, they break the entire game. I'm so tired of them existing. Alright, well, let's go ahead and buy the glass we're going to need to upgrade as fast as we can. I don't know if PB's raising that price or not. It didn't really look like it to me, and I suppose we can try and work our way into a quick glass furnace to make sure we have those established and maybe go into food a little bit later. So let's go ahead and get 1 glass furnace down. Interestingly, PB is taking the last carbon tile that's available. No, oh, come on, I never got this water pump down. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I'm not warmed up at all. And so I'm playing like garbage. But that's fine. We'll try and work our way around it. I was hoping aluminum would come down a bit better than it has so far. Not going to go into power just yet, I don't think. We could maybe do it. Carbon's pretty cheap. We have an awful lot of it. Don't really want to spend the aluminum if I don't absolutely have to. But we can still kind of make it work, going ahead and moving into this geotherm off the bat. So maybe we'll go ahead and do it. Still have to wait on aluminum for a long time, but at least the power is established. The question is, do we really want to? Because it allows PB Head the opportunity to get a mutiny out. And we're not going to be defending anytime soon, so maybe we just avoid that for the time being instead. Let's keep selling down resources that we can. I was really hoping aluminum would come down just a bit better than this, but it hasn't, unfortunately. There we go, got the upgrade.
I don't know everybody's name yet.
Let's go ahead and get down. Yep, he's 1 full HQ level ahead of us at this point. He is robotic, so it's kind of expected in some ways that he's going to be ahead of us in HQ levels, but we're still just so far behind. And let's be honest, it's just because PB got these 2 tiles right here, which are so beyond broken. I could have claimed them, yes, but I have no idea how to judge the value of those in a game like this at this point. I'm tempted to go into a bunch of geotherms right now. Just try and make that work. Just kind of take an extra geotherm, have a lot of power production behind me. PB Head is going into a lot of power himself. I'll need to try and defend these if at all possible. Thankfully, nighttime's on the way, so I don't have to attack his power immediately. Another option is instead of just going into power, I could cancel this claim and go into a little bit of extra silicon to support my glass production and make sure I can continue to upgrade effectively. Alright, both of the water pumps are down now, which is good. Exactly the kind of thing we need to be doing. Let's go ahead and get that geotherm thrown out. Probably going to go reasonably hard on this. It's not super valuable, but it's worth something. I think I may actually let it go for 18. I could just put a solar panel on top of it, so it's not the end of the world if I take it for 20. But we'll have to keep a careful eye on these aluminum tiles. We do still need some fair amount of aluminum. We have 2 upgrades to go. We have no aluminum stored up for any of it. And it is just debt we're taking on. But still not in a good place right now. Alright, oxygen shortage. We'll buy into that the best that we can. Unfortunately, we're consuming oxygen this whole time. And this is going to hurt our glass production also. So we'll need to watch out for that and just be a little bit careful. Okay. Keep selling down the water. The water's doing alright. Probably want to either attack PB's power or get up a goon squad of our own quite soon. We could just goon squad our power to be absolutely safe. And then maybe attack his once morning has hit. We're delaying upgrades and things of that nature, but unfortunately I think we're just in a state where we have to. The glass furnace is not doing super hot after he gets down his solar panels. Might should have just gone straight into reactors. The oxygen shortage is really hurting though. Not what we were looking for to actually carry through and get a victory this game, certainly. Alright, the upgrade's available, potentially. I also kind of want to attack him, though, so I might wait to upgrade just a moment. Go ahead and grab this power surge. Make sure I'm trying to use black market this game. That's all I'm wanting to make sure to do, is use this black market. Sell down, upgrade. Alright. Let's go ahead and as soon as we can. As you can see, aluminum's jumped up in price quite significantly after all of that, but we're going to try and get into reactors anyways. As soon as we can. The glass is still barely making money, so we don't absolutely have to scrap it yet. Reactors cost aluminum. Yeah, they do. That's what I thought. Still, gonna move into the reactors. Gonna move into farms. Our opponent has actually moved into electronics. So maybe he'll be alright. What we're gonna do is, we've built up plenty of glass at this point. Let's go ahead and get just a little bit more. We'll probably push up to like 110 glass. Make sure we've got enough to upgrade, got enough to throw down plenty of farms, maybe even 120. Thankfully, we're selling aluminum quite effectively right now, which is useful. And let's see what we can go ahead and do once we've hit 120 glass. Go ahead and scrap them all. Farm, 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 farm. Shortage on steel. Super sucks. That's... Oh, man, these are not helping us at all this game. Why didn't I just sell glass? I had that saved up for a reason. Go ahead and buy back into it. Make sure the price doesn't go insane if he purchases something like... And let's go ahead and do that in response to this aluminum... or this steel... nonsense going on. Got to make sure we're using that black market this game. I know we're behind on HQ levels. We're trying to catch up the best we can. Thankfully, we have food production. We have electrolysis down. This tile's pretty big, actually. I would love this tile in every... I mean, this tile's fantastic. Absolutely would love to get a hold of it. Still crushing our opponent when it comes to debt in a lot of ways. I didn't see his farms out here. I was wondering where the rest of his tiles were. That explains a lot. Okay. Well, we'll just keep going into this geotherm. It looks really handy. I'm really hoping we get it. He does have a goon squad established somewhere, but I don't know where. 32,000 again for the tile. We're paying a lot for all of these, so that's how he's kind of catching up in debt, is the fact that we're paying a lot for each and every auction we get, effectively. Which is quite painful, but what else can you do at this stage? You know what I mean? You gotta take what you can get sometimes. And if that's our only advantage, we're just going to have to try and push through with it. Carbon, still not pulling in a whole lot of carbon, which is getting more expensive as his electronics factories continue to function. But, okay, well, it wasn't there. We could have tried to make a move into steel, but that's just a little bit awkward. I feel like steel... He can sell it down, potentially, if he has a store, and I feel like he should have some stored up at this point. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that front, but I feel like he should have some steel stored up, and I don't want to take that risky move of moving into it when it would be inappropriate. My stock price has now fallen below his. Let's go ahead and move into an upgrade. Let's see, I've got the geotherm established. If I get mutinied, I can just take it right back fairly quickly, potentially. I could also just grab a mutiny right now. I could grab a goon squad. This tile's defended for a time. I'll go ahead and redefend it as well, just to be absolutely 100% safe. Carbon's a bit on the expensive side. I haven't really done anything to take a solid advantage yet this game. So I'm going to start working on that now. A few tiles left. Could establish a little more carbon. I was looking at water earlier. Let's go ahead and get a little extra water down, because that water's looking pretty nice. We could move into electronics. They make a decent amount of money right now. I'm tempted to try and just push to an Offworld if an Offworld is looking valuable. Not as valuable as in the games we saw earlier today, but still usable. very interesting game where I'm not really sure exactly what I should be doing. Let's go ahead and just grab up a power surge. Well, that didn't work out near as well as we were hoping, given it just bounced into our tile. But oh, and PB Head has managed to push to an Offworld at this point. So we're going to want to catch up to one fairly quickly if we can. Still 3 claims remaining. No idea where to commit these. We could go into a little more water, but I think that's too much of a commitment if we were to do that. Could just go ahead and establish another reactor. This is online. Let's go ahead and buff up our oxygen production for the time being. Not the best thing to improve, but still functional this game. And PB has started going after our stock, so we'll need to defend ourselves fairly quickly. Offworld looking very expensive. This silicon really shouldn't be. This could be power instead. Don't really want to put down wind power, though. Let's put down just solar for the time being, despite the dust storm. 2 claims left. Man, I feel like is PB driving up the price of water? Because that's what it feels like right now. It feels like he's intentionally driving up water. Let's start tearing through this thing. Start handing him dynamite. 1 claim left. We're hoping to commit that to an Offworld at some point. I should probably go ahead and move into electronics production. Food's just a little too expensive. Another aluminum tile. I guess we can fight over it a little bit. I was trying not to make electronics if I didn't absolutely have to, but it looks like I'm kind of in a position where I do, unfortunately. I can also try upgrading some water production. Glass is also quite nice to make at this point, if we wanted to. Just don't have the claims to do all of it, though, so we kind of need to commit one direction or the other. And I'm not wanting to scrap these reactors, in part because they're what I'm upgrading right now, and in part because, well, I guess water has naturally hit this high of a point where I am actually making that much money on it. So that's that's interesting. I'll let that go for 18, I think. And just keep buying up black market as I can. Alright. Yeah, not doing so hot this game at all. I think too slow a start and too much indecision throughout the course of the game has caused too many problems. Of course there's an iron surplus right now. When he's making steel. I guess it's not the end of the world because he could have moved into a whole lot of iron as well if he had wanted to, but I feel like a couple of times the randomness has gone against us this game. Just my opinion, but, and I'll often have that opinion. Man, an Offworld's just so expensive to try and get into. EMP down really sucks. I'm gonna grab up another dynamite. He almost certainly has another goon squad soared up. These reactors, I should have just bit the bullet and moved out of them. Maybe gotten into even more electronics, because now we're just dead as he keeps sending Offworld. We can't push into an Offworld ourselves. We absolutely can't afford it. Just too far behind after the God tiles got taken by PB. I don't know what to do about that. I guess we could have tried founding sooner. I was really unsure about the amount of debt. And it's going to work in his favor. I really feel like...
The black market is
I don't know. The freeze hurts. Let's go ahead and start tearing through this again. Trying to use this black market is so difficult right now when we're not actually making any money. I said this was going to be the important factor. Are we making money? Answer, no. We're not making money at all. We still haven't managed to push into an Offworld. We're basically 100% dead this game, unfortunately. Not much else to say about it. Food's gone back up. The electronics are making us significant amounts of money. These reactors, I really should have just scrapped them a year ago. Gotten into glass. Would have been a much better play. I know that I had committed into them, but that was a stupid reason to go ahead and think what I had about them. I only scrapped them as I finally move out of them. That's really, really special. Well, we're bringing in a lot of water per second. We're making electronics fairly effectively. The 50% hasn't shown up yet. It should before too terribly long. It also kind of hurts to have been stuck on this amount of carbon. I was hoping to push into this carbon here and make that all work in my favor, but I couldn't quite pull it off. Let's go ahead and try blowing this up again. Just make him keep paying if we can, as those Offworld shipments keep flooding in. Our other shot is to go ahead and try to buy as much of his stock as we can manage. As we can see, the water has done its work. Water is worth nothing anymore. I could even try moving out of carbon for a time and see if I can make that work. I also have too much power online right now. Let's do something really stupid. Water, food. And then reactors again. There we go.
6,000. 7,000.
This is actually really good because he has food available to steal.
8,000.
So we'll see if we can make that work.
9,000.
And I think the engineering lab was a bit of an issue this game. If I'd gotten to it sooner, it would have been significantly more valuable, but I didn't at the end of the day, right? I just didn't get to it fast enough to make it work. It can work in a 1v1. I've managed to use it several times successfully that way. Not going to try and steal that food. Going to keep an eye out for these and watch for these sending. And try and take those over. Another steel shortage. Fantastic. Thanks, game. I appreciate that. It's not like I'm losing hard enough already at all. No. Interestingly enough, he actually just scrapped out of his steel, so that's not the end of the world for us. Alright, come on. There it is. That's what I'm looking to take over. See if I can get a hold of those. He's transitioning into more and more electronics, which is slowing him down significantly. I'm wondering, I don't think this is defended. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a mutiny. He's probably going to mutiny it right back, but we did get a hold of it. Let's sell everything, buy up some oxygen. Yeah, we can't even afford to get a shipment going yet. There it is. Got the shipment started. If that goes off, it will have been worthwhile, but somehow I doubt it. I don't think we got any steel from our pirates, which is awful. We did not get a single bit of food from those. So now we're in just huge amounts of trouble. We actually really needed that to work. We really need to live long enough for this off-world shipment to go off to get any actual benefit out of it. There is another mutiny and another mutiny. On down. There's the 100%. PB head should kill us in just a moment. Well, we got a stock buy-in, so that's something. But now we're dead. Yep. Should have valued those even higher. I probably should have just found it immediately, and I likely could have lived. I hate those tiles. Those tiles have no business in this game whatsoever. Well, we tried. A few misplays here and there. Should have made transitions faster. Got too indecisive, and PB Head just crushed us. Interestingly enough, he made so much on food, which I really wasn't expecting him to make that much on food. It was the primary thing that kept him in the game, whereas I transitioned out of food because it got a little bit awkward at times. I likely should not have done that. I likely should have just stayed in food and made it work. Well, we did what we could. We were actually pretty close to pulling it back there, surprisingly enough. If we had gotten to the point where we had that mutiny playing out, right? Basically, if we had been able to live about another 30 seconds, we might have been able to actually win that game. Purely off of black market play alone. Because of where his tiles were positioned, they were still vulnerable to power surges and EMP. Obviously, we had some terrible luck when it came to random events that game, right? Steel shortage, too painful, wasn't confident enough to use it. Oxygen causing a bit of a problem as well for us early on when we were trying to make glass. Just huge issue after huge issue for us consistently. Tried to take an advantage off all these auctions. It almost worked out, but not quite well enough to wrap up the game for us. And, well, PB went ahead and took it. No big surprise there, once again. That's how I called it at the start of the game. It's how it played out at the end, right? Man, not having to buy up a lot of electronics. That's a pretty big deal. Alright, guys. There's a little show match 1v1. Yeah, I should have shut down water a lot earlier. But we tried. Alright, guys. Ah, man. I'm going to go ahead and shut the stream down at this point. For the few of you that are left, if you're interested in seeing more of my stuff in the future, once again, I'm over on twitch.tv/Zoltar327. So head on over there, hit the follow button if you want to see any more of what I've been up to. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and say thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.